The sun beat down mercilessly on Forward Operating Base Horizon, a dusty outpost on the Afghanistan-Pakistan border where Marine Captain Maya Reeve had spent the last 14 months perfecting the art of war fought on four legs. At 32, Maya had already earned a reputation that made hardened special operators listen when she spoke. Her specialty, training elite military working dogs for the most dangerous missions, had saved countless American lives. Maya wiped sweat from her brow as she watched Ghost, a Belgian Malinois with piercing amber eyes, navigate the complex obstacle course she designed. 3 years ago, Colonel Eileen Collins had personally selected Maya for this program after witnessing her uncanny ability to communicate with these animals. "Some people speak dog," Collins had said, "but you think like them." Ghost cleared the final wall with effortless precision, landing silently before racing to Maya's side. Unlike other handlers who relied heavily on treats and clickers, Maya had developed a training methodology based on mutual respect and trust. Ghost wasn't just following commands, he was partnering with her. "That's my boy," she whispered, running her hand along his muscular shoulder. Ghost's ears perked forward, his body still except for the slight wag of his tail. Always ready, always vigilant. Lieutenant Commander Jackson, the SEAL Team 6 operator who'd been observing from the shade of a nearby tent, approached with undisguised admiration. "I've never seen anything like it, Captain. That dog moves like a ghost." Maya nodded. "That's why we named him that. He'll be invisible until it's too late for the target to react." Jackson handed her a sealed folder. "These just came through. We deploy at 0200. The mission parameters were exactly what Maya and Ghost had been training for. A high-value extraction in hostile territory with minimal support. Intelligence suggested a captured American operative was being held in a compound near the Khyber Pass. The terrain was treacherous, the enemy numerous, and the window for extraction dangerously narrow. As Maya studied the satellite imagery, she felt Ghost press against her leg, sensing her tension. 3 successful deployments had cemented their reputation, but something about this mission felt different. The intelligence was thin, the timeline rushed. Later that evening, as Maya prepared her gear, Colonel Collins appeared in her quarters. "I wanted to brief you personally," she said, closing the door. "This mission is more sensitive than you've been told." Maya straightened. "Ma'am?" "The operative isn't just any soldier. He's been deep cover for 3 years, gathering intelligence on a network that spans multiple terrorist organizations. If he talks, dozens of our assets in the region will be compromised." Maya absorbed this information silently. Ghost, sensing the gravity of the conversation, sat alert beside her. "There's something else," Collins continued, her voice dropping. "We have reason to believe someone on our side may have compromised his position." The implication hung heavy in the air. A traitor. Someone within their own ranks had potentially sacrificed an American operative. "Trust no one outside your immediate team," Collins warned. "Get in, get our man, get out. Ghost may be the only one you can fully rely on." As Collins left, Maya knelt beside Ghost, running her fingers through his coarse fur. "Looks like it's just you and me, boy," she whispered. The dog's eyes met hers with an intelligence that sometimes unnerved even her. In those amber depths, she saw not just loyalty, but understanding. Maya didn't know it yet, but in 48 hours, that bond would be tested in ways she couldn't imagine. As darkness fell over the base, she completed her preparations, unaware that forces were already in motion that would separate her from everything, except the one ally who would stop at nothing to find her. The Chinook helicopter cut through the night sky, its rotors a dull thud against the mountain air. Maya sat with Ghost pressed against her leg, both alert despite the 3 hours of flight time behind them. The 6 SEAL operators around her checked weapons with practiced precision, their faces obscured by night vision gear and tactical paint. 10 minutes to drop zone," the pilot's voice crackled through her headset. Lieutenant Commander Jackson leaned toward her. "Remember, we're Ghost tonight, in and out before sunrise." Maya nodded, double-checking Ghost's tactical vest. The specialized canine armor could stop most small arms fire, but nothing was foolproof. Her hand lingered on the dog's head, a brief moment of connection before chaos. The insertion went perfectly. Too perfectly. No resistance, no patrols, nothing but silence as they moved through the rocky terrain toward the compound. Ghost led the way, his training allowing him to detect tripwires and pressure plates that technology might miss. "I don't like this," whispered Petty Officer Martinez, the team sniper. "Intel said heavy security." Maya felt it too, the wrongness hanging in the air. Ghost's ears were fully erect, his body language signaling tension rather than immediate threat. They reached the outer wall of the compound when the first shot rang out, not from ahead, but behind them. Martinez dropped without a sound, a precision shot through his neck where the body armor didn't cover. "Ambush!" Jackson shouted as gunfire erupted from multiple positions. Maya's training took over. "Ghost, cover!" The dog immediately pressed against her as she returned fire, both of them moving toward a shallow depression in the ground. The radio crackled with desperate coordination as the SEAL team fought back against invisible attackers. They were professionals, the best America had to offer, but they'd been led into a perfectly executed trap. "They knew we were coming." Jackson's voice was tight with controlled fury as he slid into position beside Maya. "Someone sold us out." A deafening explosion rocked the night as their planned extraction point erupted in flames. The Chinook that was supposed to wait for their return had been targeted. "New plan," Jackson ordered. "We split up. Better chance one of us makes it back with the intel." Maya knew he was right, but splitting up meant vulnerability. "Ghost and I will create a diversion. You get to the secondary extraction point." Jackson hesitated, then nodded. "Godspeed, Captain." Maya waited until the team had disappeared into the darkness before turning to Ghost. "Find me a path, boy." They moved like shadows along the ridge, drawing fire away from the team. Ghost's training was evident in every silent step, every alert to danger before Maya could perceive it. They almost reached the eastern perimeter when the bullet caught her in the thigh. Maya bit back a scream as she fell, blood soaking through her tactical pants. Ghost was instantly at her side, a low growl rumbling in his chest as figures emerged from the darkness. "American dog," a voice spoke in accented English. "Your team is dead. Your mission has failed." 4 men surrounded her, weapons trained on her position. Maya reached for her sidearm, but a boot stomped on her wrist, grinding bones against rock. "The famous dog trainer," another voice said. "We've heard about you." A rifle butt slammed into her temple, stars exploding across her vision. Through blurring consciousness, she saw Ghost lunge, taking down one attacker, before another fired a tranquilizer dart. The dog staggered, fighting the sedative with everything he had. "Ghost, run!" Maya commanded with her last strength. "Go!" Whether by training or instinct, Ghost obeyed, disappearing into the darkness as Maya's world went black. She awoke to pain, her body suspended from chains in a damp room that smelled of blood and despair. A man in fatigue studied her with cold eyes. "Your country has abandoned you," he said simply. "Your team is dead. And your dog?" He laughed. "Even animals know when to save themselves." Maya said nothing, focusing instead on cataloging her injuries, assessing her surroundings. They'd taken her to a different location, not the compound they targeted. "Who sent you?" A fist connected her ribs. "What did you know about our operation?" Hours blended into a haze of pain and defiance. Through it all, one thought sustained her. Ghost wasn't captured, and if Ghost was free, her captors had made a fatal miscalculation. 3 days of captivity had left Maya barely conscious, her body a canvas of bruises and lacerations. Her interrogators had grown increasingly frustrated with her silence, escalating their methods with each passing hour. The leader, a man she now knew as Kazim, paced before her, his patience visibly thinning. "Your stubbornness serves no purpose," he spat, gripping her face. "Your government disavows all knowledge of your mission. No one is coming for you." Maya's cracked lips formed a bloody smile. "Then you have nothing to fear by letting me go." The backhand was expected, but still jarring. As her vision cleared, she noticed something her captors had missed. A subtle change in the air pressure, the faintest sound of movement beyond the compound walls. Years of working with Ghost had attuned her senses to things others overlooked. "Who's going to save you now, American?" Kazim taunted, drawing a serrated knife. "Your team is dead. Your dog has abandoned you. You are alone." Maya straightened as much as her chains would allow. "You made 3 mistakes," she whispered, her voice raw. "You killed my team. You brought me to your home base. And worst of all," a distant alarm began to wail, "you assumed Ghost was just a dog." Kazim's confusion crossed his face moments before the lights cut out, plunging the room into darkness. Emergency generators kicked in seconds later, but the momentary blackout had served its purpose. Ghost had arrived. The compound erupted into chaos. Gunfire echoed through corridors, punctuated by shouts of confusion and pain. Maya had spent years training Ghost for exactly the scenario: systematic infiltration, strategic disruption, and targeted elimination of threats. The Belgian Malinois wasn't just attacking, he was executing a rescue operation with military precision. Kazim grabbed his radio, barking orders in Pashto. His men's responses came as fragmented screams and static. "Impossible," he muttered, turning to Maya with newfound fear. "What is this?" "I told you, he's not just a dog." The door splintered inward as Ghost burst through, a blur of muscle and focused fury. Kazim raised his weapon but never managed to fire. Ghost's attack was lightning fast, targeting the arm, then throat, with trained precision. The other guard reached for his sidearm only to find Ghost already airborne, his powerful jaws locking around the man's gun hand. Within seconds, both men lay incapacitated. Ghost immediately moved to Maya, whining softly as he nuzzled her injuries. "Good boy," she whispered, tears mixed with blood on her cheeks. "Perfect execution." Ghost's tactical vest held the key to her chains, retrieved, she later learned, from a guard he'd neutralized during his infiltration. As Maya freed herself, she discovered something else secured to Ghost's vest: a satellite phone and GPS locator. For 3 days, Ghost hadn't abandoned her. He'd tracked her captors to this location, then made his way to the nearest American outpost where his specialized vest and Maya's previous training had communicated the situation. A quick-thinking Army Ranger had equipped Ghost with the essentials before sending him back to complete his mission. Maya's hands trembled as she activated the GPS. "Extraction required. Authentication code Sierra Echo Alpha Lima. Authentication confirmed. Extraction team inbound. ETA 20 minutes. Maya gathered what intelligence she could from Kazim's office while Ghost stood guard. The documents revealed what she had suspected. Their original mission had been compromised by someone with high-level access. The captured operative they'd been sent to rescue had never existed. It was all an elaborate trap. 18 minutes later, the distinctive sound of helicopter rotors cut through the night. Maya limped toward the extraction point, Ghost vigilant at her side. As they emerged onto the roof, the helicopter spotlight found them. 2 warriors, bloodied but unbroken. Colonel Collins herself met them as they boarded. "Captain Reeves," she said, eyes widening at Maya's condition. "We thought we'd lost you." Maya's hand rested on Ghost's head. "They never understood what they were up against, ma'am." As the helicopter lifted away from the compound, Maya watched searchlights sweep the mountains below. The mission had failed, but something more important had been revealed. A betrayal reaching into the highest levels of command, and the bond between handler and canine that transcended training. "We have work to do," Maya told Ghost, as medical personnel tended her wounds. The dog's amber eyes met hers with unwavering loyalty. In a world where human allies had proven false, Ghost had remained true. Not just a weapon of war, but a testament to the most powerful force on any battlefield. A testament to absolute trust.